This is the future. Evolution. This is the future. Evolution.
Welcome back. People love the music. It's good, man. It's aggressive. Get you going a little bit. Early morning. Wow, Qualcomm's up huge. Damn. Good morning, everyone. What a move, man. What a move. Wow. What a move. Yeah. Is it just getting started? I don't know, right? But what a move yesterday. That NASDAQ 19,930 level held like a champ. That 20,000 level on the NASDAQ held like a champ. And, man, that thing went. So congratulations, guys. Anyone that traded off those levels yesterday, that was it. And that was sick. Unfortunately, yesterday was nothing much on the option side for me, but this is a fantastic reminder to everyone out there, right? Fantastic reminder to everyone out there that a long-term portfolio makes it so you don't miss anything, okay? I know, right? I know it's crazy to think that way, right? But the long-term portfolio, you may have not got much yesterday. Maybe you didn't trade it correctly with the options, right? There's a lot to, sometimes it's hard to trade it with that short-term options. But guess what? I think my long-term was up like $4,500 yesterday. So this is just another testament to buy some shares, man. Buy some shares. Get that long-term portfolio going. This is important. So this week up 10 grand this week. So just over the last 7 days up 10 grand. The last month up $18,000 on the long term. The last 3 months up 20 grand. Year to date up 36,000, and 1 year 44K, all time 60K. So it's just a reminder, guys. We talk about risky stuff out there. We talk about the risky options. That's basically what we talk about a lot. But that does not mean that there's not some sense of reality over here, right? Make sure you're paying attention to your long-term financial goals. Make sure you're investing in some of these opportunities. Yeah, right. It's very important. So. Right, I started this. I put money into this not just in May of last year, right? Just in May of last year, I put money into this SEP IRA in M1, and it's already up $10,000, right? All I'm invested in this is the VU, the VYM, SOX, which is a semiconductor ETF, and Tesla. This was a little dip buy on Tesla I did. All right, that's it. I didn't do anything else. Just the market, the VU. That's up 36% already. the high yield dividend ETF, that's already up 20%. And SOX up 22%. All right. So it's never too late to start. It's never too late to start. There might be periods where these go down, but it's never too late to start. Yeah. So just a reminder there, guys, it's also a very good trick on how to avoid FOMO, right? Because, hey, the market went straight up yesterday. I got a little bit of FOMO myself on the option side because I didn't quite catch as much as I wish I did. But I knew in the background that I had my long-term portfolio working for me, and it really resolves some of that FOMO. And I think it's a great way to stay, sort of remember that. So, yeah, the performance is not typical. I would agree with that, Chip. I totally agree with that. I'm definitely realistic in that sense. The market has been very strong to the upside. So, it's definitely not typical. But hey, right? If you're there and you're part of it, you get to take advantage of these types of times in the market, right? If you're invested, time in the market outweighs timing the market quite often. So if you're invested, you get through these periods, this is what you get to enjoy, right? So hopefully you enjoy it. Hopefully you've been. I know Kiddo. I don't know if you watch the live streams, but one of the members in the Discord got him to start his long term maybe about 6 to 8 months ago, maybe a year ago, and it's crushing. So congratulations, Kiddo. I know you're maybe watching, but yeah, just a little, our monthly reminder of, hey, start investing long term, man. Don't forget about that long term chair. I know you guys watch Josh over at Stock Market Live, and he's big on that. So that's that. 8:05, let's get started. What a day yesterday. What a key level hold. What an insane hold of the demand levels that we talked about right here on the live stream. Yesterday, live, we talked about that 19,930 hold. You saw that thing hold intraday yesterday. That was the springboard for upside. The 20,000 level also held intraday, another springboard for upside. So, again, those demand levels just not giving up. Great upside move. So, let's jump into the charts today. Let's go over some economic data. We'll go over the retail sales that we are anticipating this morning. So here we go. Economic data today. We do have retail sales at 8:30, so let's be aware of that. We'll see how that affects the market this morning. 9:15 industrial production, capacity utilization rate. I don't really expect too much there. 10 o'clock. Really not too much. Barkin speaking. Kugler. I don't know if I know Kugler. Kugler speaking at 1 o'clock. Barkin speaking at 10 o'clock. You can keep an eye on it, but that retail sales looks to be the most important this morning. So that is that. Tomorrow, market's closed. Market's closed. All right. Very nice. Take a day off. I'm going golfing. Let's go golfing. DJ Khaled. Yeah, I'm going golfing tomorrow. I'm out of here. Market's closed. Let's enjoy it. Let's rest, relax, recover, recoup. And I like that. I like the little break in the middle of the day. We should start having the markets closed every Wednesday. Let's trade Monday, Tuesday. Let's trade Thursday, Friday, and let's close the markets on Wednesday. I don't mind that. Maybe we'll start a petition for that. Little midweek break. But Wednesday, market closed. Thursday, unemployment claims, Thursday morning early. And then Friday, our manufacturing PMI, services PMI. All right. Not too heavy of a week on the economic side, so not too much to worry about there. But today, retail sales at 8:30. Retail sales, 8:30. All right. Let's dive right in. Let's head first. Let's dive right in. So, yesterday, right? What was our chart looking like yesterday? Yesterday, our chart looked like this, right? This was our chart yesterday. And we said, all right, if we're above these highs, right? And if we maintain these highs, then we are looking for this level to pull back and hold, right? And for any of you guys out there, I'd love to get some more people following my X account. So if you guys have a Twitter or an X, whatever you want to call it, and you don't follow me, I'd appreciate if you did. This was a post that I made, yesterday in the pre-market. So right here. This was at 7:41 a.m. I'll go ahead and post these charts once in a while. As long as the NASDAQ is above that 19,920, 19,930 level, the NASDAQ upside continues. And so that was this chart, and we talked about this yesterday. As long as we were above that high, we are going to continue off that level. And that is pretty much exactly what happened yesterday. You can see right here, you had these highs, right? You pulled back to them intraday. You held it very strong, and that was your springboard. That was a beautiful technical setup yesterday. And you know what, man? And I'm always transparent with you guys. There's a reason why I didn't long here as confidently as I should have, and I will explain it to you here in a second when we go over the ES. I was maybe too timid. I should have been more aggressive, and that's just a little learning lesson for me. It's going to happen. You're never going to catch it perfectly. You can sometimes, but there's going to be times where you don't catch it as good as you should have. Right? That's just trading. You can't expect yourself to have perfection every day. So the technicals were right. The move was correct. What the market did made a lot of sense. And the second part of it is catching it the right way. That's the harder part, right? And so I could have done better catching more of this yesterday, definitely. Always going to be honest with you guys. It just didn't catch it correctly yesterday. If you're part of the Discord, you know that. But the technicals were right. The idea was perfectly correct. And the move was very valid and made a lot of sense. So 19,930, 19,920 held perfectly. If we go down to the 15-minute chart, the 5-minute chart, we can see right here, look at how perfect that 20,000 hold was intraday yesterday. What a perfect hold right above that 20,000. This was for about an hour on the market from around 11 to 12 o'clock. We consolidated right above that 20K and bam, right off that 20K, bam, beautiful upside move right off that 20. And there's a reason why I was a little bit timid on this, and I'll talk to you about it momentarily. But today, right, that was yesterday. What are we looking at today, right? That was yesterday. What are we looking at today? Well, we can see here, guys, there's a pretty clear shelf that needs to hold today. That could be your pullback long level. It is right here, and it's very clear. 20,160. That is a low here from late day yesterday. That is a low here from after hours, right? Right there. Perfection low, right, that you need to be watching today. That is 20,160, 20,160, right? And so today, if we do pull back to that level, does this hold, right? Does this turn into a new long entry at 20,160? That is what you're going to want to watch today. If you break under that level, I am slightly cautious of giving back this move, okay? Still always cautious of that possibility. We can't just blindly be long no matter how strong the market is. The market will find ways to, sort of get some people out of it. We have to still be aware of it, okay? So if we do break below that 20,160 today and we start to see these lows turn into rejections, that is possibly where this market may need to give back some of this upside. It's very possible. It would make sense, right? This was straight up. We can move straight down here. So if you do start to enter if you start to enter below 20,160 today, I would just be slightly cautious of that possibility. That should not be surprising to anyone. We should not be thrown off by this. This is very possible. Okay, so if we see it, make sure you're protecting yourself. Do not be, holding and hoping longs down here and hoping that we come back. It's possible we do, but this would be a very clear reason that the market could pull back and give back some of this straight up move. So just be aware of that. I want to make sure you're more aware of that than anything else today, because this not being aware of this could be a lot more painful than missing upside, right? You may have missed upside yesterday. You may have not caught as much, made as much as you liked. But what's more painful is being blind to the fact that this could still pull back. And if it does, I don't want to see people overly over aggressively long here and get stuck in just a normal pullback move. So be careful at 20,160, but this is also the same level of a potential dip by long that you should be watching as well. So huge level here. This is sort of that shelf level today that you want to be watching. Now to the upside, it's very clear at 20,270. So right now you're in about 110 point range on the NASDAQ. You're going to be careful up into this high. You're going to be cautious down into this low, and you're going to look to see whether this is a channel trade today, right? It's either a channel trade or we're looking for the break and hold of the highs or the break and hold of the lows, right? So that's what you're watching today. A very clear channel. Let's see if we're going to trade long off here. Maybe you try the shorts here. I personally wouldn't because that's just you're shorting into a very strong market, and the highs, this is not really that strong of a high, right? It's just an intraday high from yesterday. There's no 4 hour, one daily, weekly chart level here. This is literally just a yesterday high. So the likelihood of this possibly breaking through is still very high. So not so sure I'd look to short at the channel high so much, just because, the breadth of the market lately does not want to reject. So let's make sure we follow that. But I would definitely look for that pullback long. That's definitely one opportunity today. And I would be interested in this downside move. I would be interested depending on what the intraday action looks like, right? It's got to look weak. It's got to look slippery. If it looks that way and you can adjust to it intraday and react to it, then I would definitely pay attention to it. I actually want to pull up a post from Chris posted this in the Discord yesterday. Or no, Mad Max did. And you guys, I'm sure a lot of you guys, a respectable figure here on X, I'm sure a lot of you guys know who he is. Adam Mancini, whatever. I think it's Mancini because that's Italian. But I don't know exactly how you pronounce it. I want you to read this from him. So shout out Adam. And I want you to read what he wrote here. You do not need to guess when a sell will come in ES. Play the lottery picking tops or play the lottery picking tops. Those who have done that have no capital left for when the real selling starts. Sells come when and only when a support fails. We can simply react, right? This goes back to what we talked about yesterday with people saying that the market needs to go lower. We can simply react when it does with shorts. No need to front run it, right? Guess or take enormous drawdown fighting the trend. Trading should always be about reacting based on something that has already happened. If you are simply shorting because ES is squeezing higher, you are not reacting to anything real. You are telling the market you want it to go down, and the market does not care. Short when a support fails and when there is evidence of weakness. Okay, so very good post by him, right? This is something that I talk about, and this aligns perfectly with what we talk about on this live stream. People are gonna start. This is ridiculous. I can't believe we're going higher. I can't. This is a scam. This is manipulation. But Adam's spot on, right? Until something breaks here, right? Until maybe that NASDAQ breaks below that low, until maybe the NASDAQ breaks below this 20,160, until you start to get these breaks, that's when the short can come in. But if it doesn't, right, it's going to keep going higher, right? This market is going to keep going higher if these levels just continue to be created and continue to hold. So today, 20,160, 20,270. That's on the NASDAQ. QQQ, you guys can see right here, that is 480.430. That is this. There's this little intra-channel level here at 485.50. And then there's the high at the 487. So we can watch that 487. We can watch that 485.50. And we can watch that 484.30. If you break under 484.30, it's the same concept, right? We could give back some of this straight up move. It's very possible. That would be right here at 484.30. This is also a potential pullback long level that you want to be paying attention to today. Okay? S&P, there's a very similar shelf, and you can very clearly see it here, right? And this goes back to why I was slightly cautious yesterday, and I just want to quickly go over this. The reason why I had a little bit of problem longing the NASDAQ at 20,000 yesterday was because at that same point in time, the ES was right under this high. So I was slightly cautious longing there at that 20,000 on NASDAQ because I was a little bit, I wouldn't say timid, but I was sort of respecting the fact that the ES was still under a triple top high. But clearly, in hindsight, right, the ES just squeezed right through it. It acted like it wasn't even there. So that's just going to happen at times, right? Maybe you're like, I don't really like the longs here because I didn't want to long right into a triple top high. And, if it was very possible that maybe that triple top high rejected, and we did see some weakness off that level again, right? We've seen that. We've seen that plenty of times where a channel high rejects again. Maybe you took some longs right into it and you saw the thing fail, and then you're sitting here. There was an equal opportunity that we sit here today on the live stream and say, man, look at that rejection at 55.18 and look at how clean that rejection was again, right? That was very possible, right? I would not be surprised one bit if we walked in, and I wouldn't have been surprised if I would have saw a rejection at that 55.18, came to this live stream today and said, hey guys, look at this rejection, perfect triple top high, rejected again on the ES and caused downside. So that was sort of what was in my mind, right? I was like, let me be careful here, right? I don't know if I really want to chase this thing. I'm just a little bit cautious to that ES, but obviously, that thinking clearly was incorrect. But I don't think it was an invalid thing to talk about, right? Or an invalid thing to be looking at, right? So it is what it is, right? That's just that's just sort of what was on my mind, and it made me sort of miss out on this upside. So I'll take that any day, right? I will take that any day as a trader who thinks about consistency over the long term. I will take that. I will miss this any day by, and on the flip side, if it avoids me from getting stuck in a big loss, then that's fine with me, right? If my mindset can avoid me from taking a big loss and playing into rejection levels, if that leads me to miss something like this, so be it, right? So be it. I'll take that any day. So that was sort of in a nutshell what my mindset was on, what I was watching yesterday. But let's go ahead and move into the short-term levels here on the ES. You guys can see right here, I think this 55.40, 55.41 level looks to be a must-hold, right? Looks to be a must-hold in my eyes. You can see right here, there's a little triple bottom low, 55.14. Steven, calm down, brother. We're going to get the Tesla, all right? Calm down. It'll be okay, all right? Everything will be okay. Calm down. We'll get there, all right? We're going over the futures. We'll go over Tesla. Everything will be fine, all right? All right, 55.40, 55.41, right here. You can see that right there. We have a nice little shelf low. I would be paying attention to that today. This is a potential long entry today, right? There's a potential long entry here at this 55.40, 55.41. Let's make sure we're watching that, okay? To the upside, right, 55.50. You can see right here, 55.50, 55.50, 55.50, 55.50, right? Very clear sort of pre-market rejection spot here. So what would I be watching today, right? What you could do today on the ES is you could hold off. You could hold off here at the 55.40, right? You could hold off here at the 55.40, and you could wait for the hold above 55.50. That could be very nice, okay? Chef. Tesla hasn't moved in months. Hope that helps. You could wait for the 55.50 right here. You see right there, right? And so if you maybe look and say, all right, we're coming off the 55.40. I like that. That's a good demand hold. And I like that we just broke and held above 55.50 This right here, guys, I'd be paying attention to this. This could be an interesting long spot today, right? Right above that 55.50. Now, you don't got to boot them. Don't boot them. We don't boot people for no reason, but we'll get there. 55.50, you guys can see right there. That would be what I'm watching, all right? Look to see if that can reclaim today and possibly give you that confidence for that next long back towards those highs at 55.60. Okay, so a nice little channel here today. 55.40, right? 55.60 is that high. And then this little 55.50 level looks to be an important spot here on the short term. Okay? Let's go to the SPY. And it's pretty much the same thing here. If we go into the SPY, first of all, I will say, unfortunately, the market has been in such a strong state that sometimes the pullbacks feel like they're not going to happen. But man, would this pullback make it real sexy? I don't know if you're going to get it because the market doesn't seem to want to do things like that. But man, would that be a sexy pullback to look for at 544? This would be a sexy long if we could get that retest long. Not sure we will, right? This would be a really nice retest long. Not sure we will, but let's keep that in our minds. 5-minute chart here on the SPY. You can see the lows are very clear at 546.50 right here. 546.60, sorry. 546.60. You can see that little double bottom low there. That is a must hold in my opinion. Okay. To the upside, you have this 547.50. That is this right here. That's your 5. That's the same thing as your ES 55.50, right? It's the same level. 55.50 on ES equals SPY 547.50 right there, right? Very clear. If you can get above that today and hold, I like that little long on the SPY, possibly back into the highs, okay? And if you do reject that level, then look for that pullback back towards these lows. Now, if you get under this low at 546.60, that is where it gets a little bit concerning for maybe that slip. All right, so this is, in my opinion, a very important short-term level. All right, because the reason I think this is so important is because under this shelf, there is, right? It's not that confidence-inspiring down there. I really don't think I would long here back into that level. All right, if I'm going to long today, I want this low to hold, right? This is where I'm going to want to see the market hold true. That's really it, right? If the market does not hold true here at 546.50, here we go with the, did I say that word? Did you just see what was in here? I didn't say that. I'm not going to repeat it, but, oh, there it is. Look. Oh, there we go. Look at this thing. Here it goes. I can't stand this. Why? I need to learn why this happens. I need to know why it's listening to my voice. Go back to the ES. If you get under that 55.40, right? If you get under there, that is interesting, right? You got to be careful there. You got to be a little bit careful there at 55.40. All right. And here we go with the voice command. How do I turn off the voice command? Holy crap. All right, so that's the futures. RTY. We'll go over RTY real quick and Dow before we get into the retail sales. RTY holding right above 2035. You guys can see that right there. 2035. And the Dow Jones sitting right under that supply at our 39,370. But look at what the Dow did yesterday. The Dow popped off our 38,880, and you can see we're holding above that 39,100. So right there is your Dow rejection spot at 39,370, 39,100, 38,880. Okay. All right, so we got a new thing on the live stream here, guys. We got a new thing on the live stream here. I'm going to implement it, and I'm gonna stay true to it. If we do not have 1,000 likes by 8:30, I am running ads. So there we go. Ad has been run. Well, we're gonna run ads right before the economic data. That's just a new thing that we're going to have to do here. So press that like button. We got retail sales. I'm going to look up how to take off voice command on Mac. System preferences, maybe. Accessibility. Voiceover? No. Why you get ads and not me? I'll figure it out another time. All right. We got economic data here in about 20 seconds. We'll get those retail sales. We'll see what the reaction is here. And then we will move on to the stocks. We'll go to Tesla, Steven. We're getting there. Okay. Market, little pop so far on the retail sales. Not too much, sort of failing. But we are over the 55.50 for the moment. Retail sales negative 0.1% versus expectations of 0.2%. So retail sales actually lower than anticipation. Retail sales lower than anticipated. Yeah, Qualcomm's up huge, huh? NASDAQ popped right into that channel high. Interesting. So look at that. Right into the 270 and starting to show a wick there. So a little bit of an interesting watch. All right. So we definitely know our 270 is there. That's very clear. We just got our pop and sort of rejection there. So let's watch that. On the QQQ, we're right. We hit that 487 level, so that's very nice. We know that level's there now. Okay, so we got confirmation of those two levels. ES looks like 55.50 is starting to react a little bit. SPY sort of right at that 547.50. All right, so we got our levels. Levels look good. Yeah. So we'll just continue to trade off of them. So we know that we have to be careful up there today. Okay. We know we got to be careful up there. If we do see the NASDAQ sort of sliding higher today, let's just be a little bit careful up there. Let's make sure we're aware of it. You know, we can see right now we are starting to see some rejections there. So very key. All right. QQQ, same thing, 487. Very nice. ES, sort of 55.50, showing slight rejections. And then that SPY is sitting right at that 547.50. All right, so if we do get some pullbacks today because of this data or because of that little rejection, then let's make sure we're watching those channel lows. All right, let's move on. Tesla. Here it is. It's here. So not a bad hold on Tesla yesterday, right? Actually sort of made some sense there. You guys can see we held that 20 and the 100 SMA, which was very nice. We popped off that 20 and 100 SMA very nicely. If we go down to the short-term time frames, we can see we'll go into the last few trading days. You can see we got over that 182, which helped it higher, right? After getting over that 182, we got a nice pop. We saw some intraday reactions, intraday rejections at that 187, right? 186.50. You can see right there, 186.50, 186.50, 186.50, 186.50, right? So we had some rejections at that level. We ended up getting above it, which was very nice. You can see we flipped above it towards late day, and you can see that we are sitting right above it right now. Now, in my eyes, I really need Tesla to really feel confident on this thing today. I need it to really defend this 186.50, right? I really want to see it get defended there. So if I see Tesla really defend 186.50 today, there is a potential for a long here, right? There is. If it fails below it and does not hold strong, then I'm not so much of a long trader on Tesla today, right? Because why? Because I'm very cautious of this. Okay, I'm very cautious of this. The last time Tesla got a gap up and had strength, it very aggressively rejected 190. So I am not going to be that confident into 190, right? I'll maybe look for scalps off 186.50, but I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm holding Tesla full position into 190 supply, okay? Now, if we get over 190, that's where the party could get started here, guys, right? Party might get started over 190. That would be a big break. Over 190, we can maybe look for that 198, right? If we can really get going here. But Tesla, as you guys know, has been a pig, and you got to still be cautious of it. Yesterday, it did give us some opportunity over that 182, over the 186.50, which is nice. Let's see if it holds today. I really want to see Tesla hold this 186.50. If it can, I think there's a very possible long off this level, possibly into that 190, but we really need a confident hold here. And you got to give it time. You got to really see it hold true. So 186.50, that's your level today. That's your level today. And you can see right now, it's trying, right? It is trying. You can see right there, it's trying. But we need to see this start to push off this level. If it does not, it could fail back under this 186.50, and it could start to fade off that level. All right? So 186.50, very important. Nvidia, an interesting day for Nvidia. I was talking to the group about this one yesterday. It's just a little bit bizarre. I think the reason for some of the just sort of slower action yesterday was Jensen. We had Jensen selling some shares, which is probably all part of his normal share selling, right? I don't think this is anything out of the ordinary. These are all sort of planned sells. I'm sure he had some sells planned in his, when CEOs have contracts, they have, it's all planned, right? They don't typically, CEOs selling shares is not sort of like, oh, I'm just going to sell shares today. It's sort of like the compensation package, right? That's sort of how they're compensated. So compensation package for Jensen looks like he was selling some shares yesterday, $31.2 million worth on Nvidia. And I think that's probably why you saw just sort of a weight on Nvidia yesterday. You never quite got any kind of real juice on Nvidia yesterday. Sort of heavy all day, right? Pretty heavy all day here. I think that's probably why. So do I really think that leads to downside on Nvidia? Probably not, but it may make it a little heavier than others, over the next day and a half. Who knows? I don't know how long, but just be aware of that, right? A little bit of selling, and it could be a little bit of heavy because of that. So 133 still looks to be the key level, right? We can definitely see 133 is a tough spot here. Pullback longs continue to be good at the 129.50. You can see right here. Even yesterday on that aggressive downside, 129.50 held like a beast. So I would be long Nvidia at 129.50. That's probably the only long spot I'd be interested in. Because I'm not interested in just longing at these random spots in here, right? I want to be long as close to that major hold level as possible. So if I do see Nvidia slide a little bit today, I want to be looking at that 129.50 and looking to see if that's a long spot for some short-term trading. That is definitely something I'll be watching today. Be careful long into 133. It has been heavy up there. Okay, that's very important. And just to give you like the sort of trend here on Nvidia, we are technically under that uptrend that's been pretty strong, right? We can see right here, we were holding this uptrend, and yesterday we did crack and fail below it. So it's a little bit of a trend shift on Nvidia. It's not straight up trend as it has been, right? You can see this was sort of that trend, and yesterday we did break it a little bit and create this 133 high. So we could be due for, right? We could be due for this. We could be very due for this on Nvidia, right? Just a little bit of consolidation, a little bit of sideways action. So just be careful of that 133 and be cautious of that 129.50, right? Be aware of that channel. If we pull back to that channel low, possible longs off that level. If we push into that 133, be careful of those rejections. If we break under 129.50, that could be where we need maybe a little bit more pullback. All right, if we do break under 129.50, maybe we pull back a little bit further, and that's probably doing nothing but creating the next long opportunity. All right, any downside, any pullback on Nvidia, guys, is going to be looked at as an opportunity, and there's no doubt about that, in my mind at least. If Nvidia starts sliding and starts coming down into maybe these previous highs, this low, comes back into that 127, maybe pulls back to that 123. These are all going to be spots that I'm looking to see if Nvidia starts to perk back higher. So, pullback long still what I'm going to be watching, but 129.50 is going to be the level to watch for that first opportunity. AMD, man, still nothing, huh? Still nothing on AMD. Still no juice. Still no life. So, nothing yet for me here, guys. Still looks like a POS, to be quite honest. And need something before I get interested. SMCI, very nice hold yesterday at the 20 SMA. That was a beauty on SMCI. You can see 828, 830 area, 20 SMA, beautiful hold, double bottom low, nice pop off that level. And today, right, look at this, right? Look at this today. See these previous highs right here? Let's look for that, 880, right? You have a very clear previous double top high that look at what happened here and starting to happen on the curl, right? You're starting to break and retest the whole, right, the previous highs. Very, very interesting spot here today on SMCI. If you can get a pullback to 880 and this thing can hold here, this could be a very interesting long entry today, right? 880, keep an eye on that. The only reason I'm cautious there, and I just want to make sure you're aware of it, right? I want to make sure you're aware of all the levels here. Above our current price action, we do have a pretty major triple top high right here at 930, right? Right there. See that 930 triple top high? That's sort of where we rejected yesterday. So if you do long SMCI today, right, and maybe you do find an entry off 880, you probably want to be a profit taker into this 930, right? You probably want to be a profit taker into that 930, maybe take half off, take 3/4 off, maybe hold a runner for that potential breakout. But you definitely want to be careful of that 930 on SMCI. Okay. TSM, guys, I want to make sure you know that TSM is the stock that we've been talking about, man, and this thing continues to be a monster. This thing is a monster. And TSM, it's just looking like a solid name. Again, yesterday, a nice pullback and an insane long opportunity off that 173.60. You can see right here. That is this previous high from Friday. So basically all we did was we pulled back to Friday's highs and we just rocketed off that level. So really nice, right? 173.60. You can see right there. Previous highs on Friday turned into new lows. Very nice. We got above 176. You can see right there. We reclaimed the 176. And from that point, we pushed higher. So today, I'm watching a few levels. I'm watching 178.60, 178.70. Let me move that up a tad just to get it exactly at 70. 178.70 is definitely a level I'm watching here, right there. And if we break below that, then I'm watching 176. Looking for those pullbacks, possibly 178.70, possibly 176. Watching to see if those two turn into long entries. TSM been a very strong name, but it's still, we talked about this yesterday. I don't know if we talked about it in the live stream or if it was just in the Discord, but TSM was on a huge gap up yesterday, right? And what did it do at open? It pulled all the way back. Actually, we did talk about this in the live stream. We said you chase the gap up, the stock moves. Wow, this is actually exact. Wow, that's crazy. I think we talked about this verbatim yesterday in the live stream. We said this is the perfect situation. This is what happens to traders, right? You get the big pop, you chase the morning push, you chase the gap up. The stock pulls back early morning, you take a loss on your longs, and then you see this thing go higher the rest of the day. So that sort of happened to me yesterday, but I did wait for a pullback. I just didn't wait for the full pullback, I guess you could say. I longed right here at 176 yesterday, right? I longed right here at 176, and I did get stopped out of that trade, but then I shorted it under 176 and made back those losses. So I played it both sides yesterday. I tried the long 176 off this level right here, and then once it failed under it, I actually shorted under it, which was a great short as well. So you can see we failed under 176 yesterday, and I shorted on the retest rejection of 176, which actually turned out to be a really nice short entry trade. But later in the day, what did it do, right? It reclaimed 176, and after reclaiming that level, that was really the entry point to be looking for, right? After reclaiming that 176, TSM just sort of rocketed higher. So today, we're watching right here, 178.70 and 176. MU, rocket ship. Big move on MU, but man, do you want to see some pullbacks here as well? So right here, you can see, I think 150 and 147.50 are the two levels to watch. 150, 147.50. This is a gap up. Remember that. Yesterday we closed here. So for me, I would rather long 147.50, right? Because that would fill this gap up. The gap up started right here. We gapped up to where we are now. I would like to see a pullback to that 147.50. This would really be the long entry that I'd look for at the 147.50, but you could watch 150 as well. Okay? Qualcomm. Qualcomm, we talked about this maintain over 213. We actually longed off 213 last week, and look at that 213 level again yesterday. What a beauty of a level. 213, 213, 213, 213. Quadruple bottom at previous highs. Quadruple bottom at previous highs. That is the definition of a retest hold, right? 213, beautiful, nice entry point there yesterday. Huge push off that level over the 218. After we got over the 218, ignition. We have liftoff over 218. Today, I'm going to be watching right here at 224, and I'm going to be looking for that pullback to 218. Those are the two levels. So if we get a 224, I'll look for that. If we get to 218, I'll definitely look for that. All right. ARM, still sort of weak underneath this all-time high, so let's be aware of that. ARM is sort of failing this 164 level, so just be cautious up there. All right. What other semiconductor did I miss? I think we went over all the semis. Qualcomm, TSM, MU, ARM, SMCI, AMD, Nvidia. It's usually all the semis we go over there. ASML has been something to watch at 1056. AVGO, Broadcom has been running since earnings. Seems a little bit too far for me. Let's go into Kava real quick, because Kava, actually interesting, guys. We talked about Kava trying to hold 90 and then getting over 93. You guys can see right there. If we can hold over 93, that's definitely something I would watch, right? Right here, 93 on Kava, guys. Definitely watch that 93. If this could be a really nice hold above a previous high here. You can see right here. That's your very clear high, right? Very clear high. And if Kava holds above that, this could be something to watch. Watch 93 today on Kava. Yeah, Netflix has been a very, very beautiful trade. Look at yesterday's long off these previous highs. Look at that 664. Beautiful 664 previous high here on the 1 hour chart. Look at that hold that came in yesterday early morning. That is a perfect break and retest long. That is perfection. So Netflix has been very nice. You can see right there, previous highs turning into new lows. That is exactly where we pushed off of. What are we looking for today? Very clear, right? Look at this. Look at that. 674, previous highs from yesterday. I'm sorry, from Friday. Friday highs. Look at that. Watch 674. Watch 674, right? If this turns into a hold, that is another break and retest long off Friday's highs. 674 on Netflix. Big watch there. Meta, what a beautiful 499 yesterday. We talked about 499, and you can see once again, 499. Look at that hold. 499, 499, 499. And look at the hold above 499 yesterday. Big squeeze off that level. You're watching 505 today. Do we hold 505? If we do, I like the upside continuation. If we fail 505, we're coming back down to 499. You can see Meta's having a little bit of a tough time up there at 512. Yeah, HIMS, baby. It did tap all-time highs. It looks like it's maybe weakening a little bit after tapping that, which is fine. That's going to happen. You can see right here. We'll go to the daily chart on HIMS. And we definitely saw a little bit of it looks like the medicine wore off a little bit at the all-time high on HIMS. So we had that 25.50 high. You can see we tapped it yesterday, and the medicine has worn off since then. So a little bit careful there, right? I mean, I'm holding this long term, so I really don't care, but that is why HIMS had a little bit of trouble yesterday. Apple, let's go. We can take a look at that. Look at this 215 hold that's going on right now today. You can see this, right? We had this previous 215, very clear rejection point, right? And look at the hold over 215, right? Very, very nice. So what am I looking for today? Let's look for that pullback at 215, man. It did at 215 here and here. So if we see another pullback to 215, that is definitely something to watch today. I'm actually going to set an alert there, make sure I don't miss it. Create an alert at or below. I'm going to go 215.50 just so I get an early alert on it, and I'll look to see if we get that pullback. We can go over like the Google, Microsofts real quick and Amazons, even though I really don't like these trades lately, guys. There's just way too many semiconductors to be watching and paying attention to, right? Like, why not watch Qualcomm, TSM, MU? Why not watch those instead of trying to trade these things that aren't moving? Google, it's all right. It's all right, but it's got to get over 180, right? It's all right, but it's definitely got to get over 180, right? So I'm not touching Google until it's over 180. Simple as that. Amazon has been a very slow, very weak stock. Really not interested in this at all, so I'm not even going to talk about it. And we can go over Microsoft. Microsoft has been on a rope. Microsoft has been strong. Microsoft was a beautiful breakout yesterday. Over that 443 was very nice. You can see right there. For me, here's your levels on Microsoft. It looks very much like the NASDAQ, actually. Look at this. This is actually identical to the NASDAQ. So 448 right here on Microsoft and 443.40. Those are the two levels right there. All right, guys. Let's get a quick peek at NASDAQ. Let's see what she's doing. So, yes, we can see our 20,270 level definitely has influence today. We had that level before data, and we can see how that level reacted. So, very clear there. Let's watch to see if this pullback comes into the 160. QQQ, same exact thing here. We have that very clear level at that 487. We are a little bit under that 484, 485.50. If that is the case, we can come back down to that channel low demand. ES, very clear off that 55.50 rejection. We have to hold 55.40 in my eyes. And then on SPY, we can see that very clear 547.50, and we need to hold that 546.60. We'll go to Dell real quick. I am interested in looking at Dell. What has this thing been up to since earnings? All right, it's sort of curling back higher. I still have my alert here at the, it looks to be like the 150 spot. Yeah, I mean, I just would be a little bit careful back into this 150, guys, on Dell. Let me go to the hourly chart. It's coming back nicely, right? It's curling off that 135 demand zone. I would just be slightly cautious here at 150, all right? You have previous highs, previous rejection. Be careful at that 150 there. All right? All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's live stream. If you guys could, before you head out, press that like button. It's still only 50% of people like the live stream. So I'd like to get that number going if you guys could help. I mean, if you come here every day and you don't press the live stream, or if you don't press the like button, you're that's just wrong. It's wrong. Simple as that. It's wrong. So press that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you are new here. 100,000 subs by the end of the year. It's probably not going to happen, but with your help, maybe it will. Press that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.
This is the future.